The powder trickler. What's a powder trickler and how is it used? Well, you see it's a little device like this. You fill it up with powder and see a little hole in there. And you fill this up with powder. You rotate this little handle. And this end in here, there's my little pointer. You can see it or not. Oh, there it is. And here it's threaded. It's threaded or has grooves in that tube. And when you turn it one way, the powder rides down this tube and gets caught in the grooves. And as you turn it, it feeds the powder gradually out to the end of this. And what you do is once you get a powder charge, what I usually do, like when I'm setting them, is see it over here. You get it to where it hangs over and you have a light charge. You have a charge that isn't there all the way to the amount you want. And you would rotate that drum, the powder, the little grains of powder. If you turn it one way, it drops like a few kernels of powder out. And if you turn it an opposite way, you can actually get it to where it just drops out one. There's two different ways. Turn it one way dumps a lot of powder. Turn it the other way, just very little bits of powder come out, just one kernel at a time. And I use this because basically when I load, I'm weighing every charge. You don't have to if you feel comfortable after you set your measuring at, but when I'm doing these testings of raising like 1 grain at a time, I'll set the powder measure for like a half grain or a grain below, and then I'll trickle it up, load 5 cartridges with say like 43 grains. Then I'll dump the powder and it'll be slightly under 43, and then I'll just trickle it up to 44 or whatever. That's what I use the powder trickler for. And one thing when you're finished with it, you make sure you dump this out, get the powder out, and make sure you get the powder out of the spout. And you'll have to shake it and turn it. It gets caught in there and hung up because when you change powders or go from one to the other, you don't want the other powder caught in this tube. That's one thing you have to worry about. You have to clean these out fairly well before you reuse them with another powder. But it's a handy tool, and when you want to get a precise weight, that's how you adjust it with the trickler. I wouldn't use it with black powder because it is metal, it's not brass. But for smokeless powder, that's what we use there. And the powder trickler is another tool that I like to use, and I will show you later how it actually works once we start charging these cases.